who's your favorite Genshin Impact Archon? Do you know what your attachment style is? And did you know that these two things may be related? Today we're going to be putting on our analysis hats and diving into a concept I personally find truly fascinating: the psychology of why we gravitate towards certain characters and what they could tell us about who we are and how we relate to others. Before we dive into the specifics of each character, let's talk a little bit about the 4 attachment styles and figure out which one you may resonate with the most.
Oh, I signed up for a goofy little video, not a psychology lesson. Sit down, this is important.
So what even are attachment styles? Attachment styles are the ways we connect with others, especially in close relationships, based on how we were cared for as kids. There are 4 types: secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized or fearful avoidant. Not every person falls cleanly into one single category. In fact, most of us don't. Think of them more as an ever-shifting spectrum. Let's briefly go over traits from each of the 4 styles so you can see which type you think resonates with you the most. Those with a secure attachment style tend to have a positive view of themselves and others, do not overly seek external approval or validation, and are comfortable expressing their emotions openly. Growing up, they were likely surrounded by caretakers who were consistently responsive, emotionally available, safe, and predictable. As the name implies, this is the one secure attachment style, with the remaining 3 being considered insecure attachment types. Those with anxious attachment tend to have a negative self-view, but a positive view of others. They may view their partner as their literal better half and feel insecure at the thought of being abandoned, experience high levels of anxiety when alone, and require a lot of attention and support in relationships with others. Avoidant attachment types tend to have a positive self-view, but a negative view of others. They're highly independent and self-sufficient, can fear commitment, and do not wish to depend on others or have others depending on them. And finally, disorganized or fearful avoidant types can ping-pong between the traits of both anxious and avoidant attachment depending on their mood and circumstances. They desire closeness with others, but have trouble trusting or depending on other people, and may avoid strong emotional attachment due to their fears of getting hurt. I know some of these sound a bit negative, but attachment styles can change over time. For example, someone with an anxious attachment style can develop a more secure attachment through self-awareness or experiencing healthy relationships with others. In a study from York University for the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, Adult Attachment and Engagement with Fictional Characters, researchers found that your attachment style could impact the types of characters you tend to gravitate towards and how you relate to them. For example, those with an avoidant attachment style were found more likely to identify with certain characters, or view the story through that character's personal lens. They typically prefer characters they feel they can relate to, or who embody traits they personally find aspirational, such as autonomy and independence, whereas anxious attachment styles predicted stronger parasocial bonds, viewing characters as real or forming bonds with them as an entity of their own, preferring sociable, kind characters who value pleasing others.
And where my fellow disorganized attachment baddies at?
They actually didn't study that attachment style, but we can infer, baby! Now that we have a basic understanding of the 4 attachment styles and which ones we may relate to the most, let's move on to analyzing what your favorite Archon could say about you. In the world of Genshin Impact, the 7 Archons are the gods presiding over 7 regions in Teyvat, each represented by an element and a unique set of ideals.
My greatest wish? It has always been to roam free and experience the whole world.
Venti, the Anemo Archon presiding over the nation of Mondstadt, is an easygoing bard who values freedom and adores his people, despite choosing to stay hidden under an alias. Cutting through his cheery and sociable outward demeanor, Venti struggles internally with loneliness and grief after the loss of a dear friend, whose memory he honored by taking on his physical form. Needless to say, he's a powerful force who will always come to the rescue when his people or his friends are in need. Those who picked Venti as their favorite Archon may struggle with fears of abandonment and loss, and crave deep emotional bonds with others. You may focus your energy on a few close relationships rather than keeping a large circle, in order to develop develop deeper connections with those you do interact with. You may also consider yourself a highly emotional person, valuing creativity and excelling in areas such as art, writing, music, or dancing to express your feelings. Venti's story teaches us that our grief, fear, or anxiety does not define us. We can still put our best foot forward and live life to the fullest, as our own fully whole and capable self. You are a person who is worthy of love and acceptance just as much as everyone else, even if you might need to remind yourself of that once in a while. If you have an anxious or disorganized attachment style, you may find comfort in Venti's willingness to help others, his positivity, and his social levity.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush.
Zhongli, also known as Morax or Rex Lapis, is the oldest surviving Archon, having watched civilizations rise and fall over thousands of years. He values contracts and stability, and even stepped down from godhood to allow his people to lead themselves. Despite his calm, composed nature, Zhongli carries the weight of centuries of war, sacrifice, and loss, often choosing silence over disclosure. His love for Liyue remains steadfast, even if he no longer rules it. If Zhongli is your favorite Archon, you may relate to his deep need for reliability and emotional safety in relationships. You likely value long-term bonds, loyalty, and keeping your word, but may also struggle to open up fully, choosing to carry your burdens quietly. This can reflect traits of a secure or avoidant attachment style, deeply caring, but sometimes emotionally reserved. While you may find his composure admirable or even aspirational, Zhongli reminds us that vulnerability doesn't weaken strength. In fact, it enhances it. You are a dependable force in others' lives, and you deserve to let others be that for you too.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
The Electro Archon, is a powerful figure split into two beings, the emotion-driven and the logic-bound puppet, Shogun. After the tragic loss of her twin sister, withdrew from the world and created a strict regime in the name of Eternity, hoping to preserve what she loved before it changed or vanished. While outwardly cold and distant, deep within her resides a longing to reconnect, understand, and grow. If the Raiden Shogun is your favorite, you may resonate with the struggles of emotional control and fear of loss. You might crave connection, but feel the need to shut down emotionally to protect yourself. Classic signs of an avoidant or disorganized attachment style. You may find safety in routine or isolation when things become overwhelming. A's journey teaches us that healing starts with facing the pain, and that even the most guarded hearts can learn to love and live again. Staying in your comfort zone and shutting others out may close you off to opportunities for true connection and healing. It's okay to lean on others and reach out for companionship, even if you feel like you'd prefer to handle things yourself. Your friends and loved ones care about you and want to see you thrive.
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
Nahida, the youngest of the seven, was born from sacrifice and wisdom. Hidden away by those who feared her potential, she yearned to connect with her people and learn about the world. As the god of wisdom, she values growth, compassion, and understanding, even when faced with isolation or overwhelming expectations. Her kindness is both her power and her purpose. If you feel a deep connection to Nahida, you might be someone who is introspective, emotionally attuned, and driven by the need to understand yourself and others. You may have anxious attachment tendencies, feeling unsure of your place in others' hearts, often seeking reassurance and closeness, and craving the true acceptance of others. You want to be seen and heard, and appreciate when others put forth extra care and attention to what you're going through. You want someone to be there for you, not in spite of your flaws, but because they truly love the full you. Like Nahida, your empathy and desire to grow emotionally are strengths. Your story is about learning to trust not only others, but your own worth. You're far more than how others treat you.
The reason I can now stand before the crowd's watchful gaze is perhaps because I have finally started to act as myself.
Furina, once part of the divine oceanid known as Focalor, split her essence into two, her humanity and divinity, to protect her nation through one of the boldest deceptions in Teyvat's history. Outwardly dramatic and flamboyant, Furina masked a deep internal struggle and sense of guilt. Her true power came from embracing her flaws, taking responsibility, and allowing herself to be judged. If Furina is your favorite Archon, you may relate to presenting confidence while hiding insecurity, craving love, validation, and connection, but fearing being truly seen. This can show up in those with anxious or disorganized attachment styles who oscillate between needing closeness and feeling undeserving of it. Furina's journey teaches us that authenticity and vulnerability aren't weaknesses, they're what makes us whole. You're not defined by your past mistakes or your need to perform for love. You're already enough. When you begin to show up as the authentic version of you, your people will find you and appreciate every aspect of your personality, even those you might not yet appreciate in yourself.
Before you become one with flame, be proud of who you are now.
Mavuika is the mortal made divine warrior who sacrificed herself for her people, only to rise again during their darkest hour. Her legacy is built on courage, resilience, and rebellion, even daring to punch a hole through the heavens themselves. She doesn't follow. She leads, fights, and protects. She's fueled by love, justice, and an unbreakable sense of duty. If Mavuika speaks to your soul, you might be someone with a secure or earned secure attachment style. Someone who may have faced pain, loss, or instability, but came out stronger, more grounded, and fiercely loyal. You may carry the burdens of others and take on more than your fair share, but you never lose your fire. Mavuika shows us that leadership doesn't mean perfection, and that our humanity is what makes our strength so powerful. You love fiercely, fight loyally, and never let the past define your future. Or you just think her fire hair and motorcycle are sick as hell. Either way.
Her Royal Highness, the Tsaritsa, is actually a gentle soul. Too gentle, in fact. And that's why she had to harden herself.
The Tsaritsa is possibly the most mysterious of the Archons, a god who hides her pain behind coldness, and who sacrifices love for the sake of revolution. While many see her as cruel or calculating, those closest to her say she was once gentle, until the cataclysm stole something irreplaceable. Now she leads with icy resolve, trusting only a select few and staying emotionally distant from the world she seeks to save. If you feel drawn to the mysterious Tsaritsa, you may deeply understand the tension between protecting yourself and wanting to be loved. This could resonate with avoidant or disorganized attachment styles, where vulnerability feels dangerous and control becomes a coping mechanism. But like the Tsaritsa, your coldness may mask a warm, deeply feeling heart. You may push people away while desperately hoping they'll stay. Her story reminds us, you can be strong and soft, guarded and loving, and you don't have to fight your battles alone. It's okay to let the cold walls come down and slowly put your trust in others. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your response to it. Each Archon in Genshin Impact teaches us something truly unique, and can show us the power of embracing not only the aspects of ourselves we want to present to others, but also our flaws. I think these positives and negatives are what makes these characters so compelling, so relatable, and what draws us to them as players. I hope you enjoyed taking a deep dive into the psychology of these characters with me. As I said at the start of the video, this type of analysis truly fascinates me, so I had a ton of fun researching and writing for this script. I know this video isn't my usual style of content. We do plenty of character analysis on this channel, but it's more like, which character would be the best husband, or who's most likely to eat my leftovers out of the fridge if they were my roommate. But if you'd be interested in more of these analytical video essays, give this video a thumbs up and let me know if you'd like me to discuss any other characters from Genshin Impact or otherwise. I would be happy to oblige. Thank you so much for watching and exploring this concept with me. If you're interested in learning more, I would highly recommend looking into information on the 4 attachment styles from this video. I truly believe understanding your own style will help you out a ton with future relationships and just in general unpacking some of your own thoughts and feelings. Until next time, let me know what you think in the comments below, subscribe for more Genshin Impact content, and I'll see you in my next video.